Hamilton, who sits on the St. Louis Commissioners Board, and Chris Summers, who owns the pizza place Pie, which is all over St. Louis. It's President Obama's favorite pizza, for crying out loud. Chris Summers was called on Twitter, and my apologies to the young people in the audience, an insufferable douche. Now, I had to look up what the term douche was because I thought I knew what it was. I didn't know that it is also a slang. Well, I guess I did know it was a slang. I knew what it was, but after reading the technical definition, I don't know to be quite honest with you, I don't know what an insufferable douche actually is. But anyway, one St. Louis taxi cab commissioner called another St. Louis taxi cab commissioner an insufferable douche on Twitter because of this fight over whether or not to allow Uber into St. Louis. There are cities and towns bigger and smaller than St. Louis all over the country. No town. We are the biggest metropolitan area in the country that will not allow Uber or Lyft. There are also communities that are smaller than St. Louis in Missouri, Columbia, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha has Uber. So if these towns that are smaller than us and live in and outside of the state of Missouri, and towns that are bigger than St. Louis can allow Uber, why is it that we can't figure it out? And so the $64,000 question is this. 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, or star KTRS. Here are the questions. Could you have used Uber this weekend? How long did you wait for a taxi cab? Do you really feel threatened? Do you really not feel safe if somebody offered you an Uber ride? What are your thoughts on the taxi cab drivers? What are your thoughts on all of this? Because really, when you get right down to it, the only thing that the public has right now, because we can't get to these commissioners, and as much as Mayor Slay seems to be in favor of Uber, he also seems to be very much in favor of demanding that they get all of their background checks and fingerprints and drug testing and all that stuff, right? So even though he's in favor of Uber, he's still saying they need to follow the taxi cab commissioner's rulings and or regulations. Whereas Steve Stenger in the county has said, well, wait a minute, they need to follow. So it's as much as they're on different sides. If you read but between the lines, they're kind of not. But there's no way to vote for this taxi cab commission. There's no way for the public to change this unless, of course, it's public pressure. So, very simply, I'm going to open up the phone lines, 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, and star KTRS. This is an open. I mean, this has clearly reached a new level when you have one commissioner calling another commissioner an insufferable douche, and yet the public sits here and we can't access this technology or this company because clearly they are clearly picking one company over another company. 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, or star KTRS. I can't think of another entity which is not allowed to give away their product for free. They were not allowed to give away their product for free. Think of another product, another industry that is legal in the state of Missouri and has been denied the ability to give away their product for free. 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, or star KTRS. Those are the phone numbers. Oh, hey, we've got Kim Tucci is joining us. Kim Tucci Mr. Kim Tucci, welcome to the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, McGraw. How are you?
Good. You sit on the Taxi Cab Commission.
I am a commissioner, yes.
All right. What are your thoughts as you sit and watch this?
First of all, if I had a C sticker on my restaurants and was giving the food away free, what do you think about that? This is a safety issue. Uber is being sued all over the country for assaults, muggings, robberies, things like that. All we're asking them to do is comply with safety regulations, and that is our record checks, fingerprint checks that are conducted by the state troopers and the FBI. That's all they have to do, and they'll be allowed in St. Louis. It's a safety issue. If you had a daughter or son, like I've talked to other people, you keep saying that, people don't have a vote on this. They don't have a vote on the airport commission. They don't have a vote on the election board commission. They don't have a vote at the convention commission. These are all different commissions that I sat on. We're there to make sure that people are safe. Now, if they want to go by the rules, we more than welcome them in. We have Uber Black right now, does operate in St. Louis. But Uber comes up with all these different reasons why, and it basically is one reason. They said it's cumbersome for their drivers to have record checks by the city and state of Missouri.
Kim, they're working. St. Louis is the largest market that doesn't have Uber.
The reason is because we were the last one where they tried to come in, and we learned from the other cities. Check out in California, check San Francisco, check in Paris, France, the troubles they're having. We're learning, and our taxi cab drivers have certain regulations. They know that they have to comply to these regulations, and they have record checks, they have fingerprint checks, and they do this, and they're allowed to operate. Why should they be any different than a taxi cab driver?
Uber is allowed in Columbia, Missouri, and in Kansas City, Missouri. Is that correct?
Yes.
It seems like if they can work out their problems in Columbia, does Columbia have a taxi cab commission? Have they been approved?
No, they don't have. Nobody has a taxi cab commission. We took over when the taxi cab commission was started. It was it was probably one of the best things that ever happened because we regulate the drivers. The drivers are trained. In fact, I'm a member of the convention commission also, and I tied that in with taxi cab commissions. We've trained over 1,000 taxi cab drivers when they renew their licenses on hospitality mentality and how to be nicer to people visiting St. Louis and be nicer to people that live in St. Louis.
Do you think the regulations are too stringent for the current taxi cab drivers?
No, not at all. They never complain. We don't have any problems with them. They all go through the record checks. And I'm telling you, if we allowed something like this to happen without the record checks like we do now, we would rue the day when somebody got assaulted or there was some bad incident that took place in one of our cabs or in UberX.
How much does it cost each driver and or company for the quote-unquote cumbersome...
$50.
$50?
Yeah. See, they want to be able to just grab drivers right off the street and throw them in their cars, and then they can drive. They got their apps set up, and that's what happens. Well, here's what I want you to do, McGraw, because I'm sort of computer illiterate with the internet and things like that. But you Google, just Google bad Uber stories, okay? Bad Uber stories. You're going to see a myriad of things that happen, like the gal who drunk too much, and she called an Uber driver. He picked her up. Next thing she knew, she woke up the next day in bed with the driver, and she was naked. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a way out. Maybe you could say it's an aberration. No, you just read all the other stories that happen. Not to mention the price gouging, and not to mention the redlining, where they don't go into certain areas that other cab drivers do go into.
Kim Tucci, anything else while we have you?
No, I'm just glad that you took my call, and I love listening to your show.
Kim Tucci, you are always welcome here. Anything going on at the Pasta House we should know about while we have you here?
We're just having a great summer, and we're looking forward to a new menu insert we got coming out, and I talked about it. I do the golf show on Sundays on KTRS with Jay Randolph Jr. and Sr. and Skip Berkmeyer, and I enjoy doing that every Sunday, and now I enjoy talking with you today.
Kim, be safe. Thanks for checking in.
Okay, bye, McGraw.
You got it. Kim Tucci, ladies and gentlemen, who is a St. Louis Taxi Cab Commissioner who used all proper English and no bad words to call anybody out, just laid out a very interesting argument that you're not necessarily hearing from the other taxi cab commissioners because they're busy calling each other names. So there you have it. What are your thoughts? 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, or star KTRS. Those are the phone numbers. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet is where you want to go for your new vehicle. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, not only